Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're going to be looking at again a product that kind of went under the radar and that is phenomenal. And that is the Card Magic Mastery course by Andrew Frost on Danny Goldsmith's website, which I think is probably why it went a bit under the radar because, well, you wouldn't expect a Card Magic Mastery course from Andrew Frost to be available on one of the best, or if not the best, coin magician of our times website. So because of that, it kind of went under the rug, and this is much more than a beginner's course. This is a masterclass in moves and effects that really blew me away. And I can't wait to talk more about it right after the intro. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Card Magic Mastery by Andrew Frost. So what is this? This is a nearly 4-hour download that goes over a ton of moves and effects with playing cards. It's very, very interesting in that regard, and I can't wait to talk more about it for you. But before we unpack all of that, I will perform one of the effects for you. Now, I'm going to perform, and I'm going to try and perform the two-phase routine for you. I hope that the camera won't catch too much of it, but will do my best. This really does need spectators, and a lot of this material is better when you have spectators because you can have some misdirection, but I'll still do my best. You'd essentially deal the cards on the table, just as so, in front of the first spectator, and they're going to say stop. You tell them, perfect, you want to stop here? Do you want to go one more, one less, or are you satisfied? Let's say they're satisfied, you say excellent. So you've stopped on the Ace of Diamonds. What I want you to do is I want you to just kind of take half the cards, lift them up just like this, and we're going to place your Ace of Diamonds as so, and place the rest of the cards on top. I don't want you to shuffle the cards or square them just yet. I want you also, the second spectator, to touch two cards. So they're going to touch any two cards. Let's say they touch these two. So you say, perfect. So you've touched the 7 of spades and the 10 of spades. These are the two cards that you've touched, and you can see there's nothing in between of these two cards. Now, the second spectator is invited to push the card inside, and again, you show there's nothing in between the two cards over here as you square that and they square that. Now, you take the card from here invisibly and you flick it over there. You prove to them by spreading that the card is no longer there. And you can show that in between here, the two cards selected by the other spectators, there's now one card that traveled, and it is the thought of, or the chosen Ace of Diamonds. Now, you can do it again. Let's try it again, but this time we'll do it a bit differently. I want you to shuffle the cards, and I want you to just cut half and place them in my hand. So this is going to be your half. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to have you think of a card, so just say stop. Here, take a look at that. I hope the camera can see what that is. So you would essentially have them look at that and you say, perfect. It's important that you remember. So take a moment to remember the color, the suit, everything, because you didn't physically touch a card. So you didn't get to see it. You didn't get to see the full card. You were just thinking of it. So please remember the card. And then what I also want you to do is I also want you to shuffle the cards. So take those and shuffle them. And while he shuffles them, I hope you also saw the card on the camera as well, because I'm going to have you take a look and tell me if you see the card over here. They're going to say, of course, no. So you say, so you didn't see the card that he selected among these, right? And of course you didn't see it because, well, it's in his hands getting shuffled right now. But now look, we're going to do this. If we take one from here and we throw it over there, you do the same thing. You show the card has vanished from here, and one card has appeared in this pile face up, and I hope it was the peaked card, which was the Jack of Hearts. Okay? So that is one of the routines that you can do with the methods and the effects and everything that you get with the Card Magic Mastery course by Andrew Frost, okay? So now that you know what this is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this directly from Danny Goldsmith's website, which is surprising for someone that is into coins. The Card Magic Mastery course is available on his website. It's going to set you back 75 USD, which is close to 100 Canadian dollars. And what you get with your purchase is a close to 4-hour download that goes over moves and effects with live performances for both the moves and the effects. And it goes over variations of everything. So you're going to learn double lifts. You're going to learn top changes. You're going to learn forcing methods. You're going to learn the crosscut force with a variation that makes it one of the best forces I've ever seen. It's the crosscut, but you would never guess it's the crosscut because of how it's done. It is fantastic. And you're going to learn other forcing methods. Then you're going to learn controls. You're going to learn some incredible controls. You're going to learn one of these, which is, again, one of the best controls that I've seen in a long time. Someone chooses a card. They take a look at it. You take it. You place it back inside of the spread. Fair, right? You can show that it's inside. You then take everything just like this. You square it up and you say, perfect. So you've placed your card inside the middle of the deck and you agree. Tell me when you think that your card is on the table. So just tell me when you think the card is on the table as I mix everything just like this, haphazardly. Around this point, they're probably going to say, yeah, my card is probably on the table. So you say, okay, so that means your card is already here. So if we take even more cards and place it on top, that buries your card, correct? And what I've done here is I've put two moves in conjunction from the control section. Now, not only do I know that you selected the 2 of clubs, but through the process of talking to you and shuffling the cards, I've also controlled it to the top. Now, these are 2 moves separated into and placed into one. Fantastic moves. He has a very good also variation for the turnover pass where he kind of shows you the cards like this. And then he does it. It's a fantastic variation. So he's going to go over that. Then he's going to go over palming. He's going to go over clipping cards. Even when I mentioned double lifts, he's going to go over a ton of variations. So he's going to teach you how to clip cards as well. And he's going to teach you a few shuffles. Okay. Then in terms of the effects, he's going to teach you the ones that I've performed. They're 2 separate effects, but can be placed in conjunction. They're called the Traveler. He's going to teach you another one where a spectator chooses a card. The card is returned to the deck. You then take 4 random cards from the deck, have them touch one. The one that they touch is then revealed to turn into the card. And the 3 other random cards are now turned into the mates. There's one where you steal a pip out of a card and you throw it on the card in their hand and it changes. Then he's going to teach you a triumph routine. He's going to teach you a card to pocket routine, a mate's card to pocket routine, where not only are you going to put the card that they thought of in your pocket, but in all 3 other pockets in your pants, you have all of the mates. He's also going to teach you the casual and the normal, card transformation, or the card where you show a card like the 5 of hearts. You do it like that. You say, boom, boom, boom. What was your card? They were going to say the 7 of hearts. You say, look, boom, change into the 7 of hearts, right? So he's going to teach you some of that and some variations regarding that as well. So you're going to learn a ton of effects and variations. That's very important because everything that he teaches you, he teaches variations as well, which I loved. So that's everything that you're going to get with your Card Magic Mastery course from Andrew Frost. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is this course? This course, you may expect that is a beginner course, but it's actually not. A lot of the stuff that you're going to learn here is more than beginner level. I would say it's around the intermediate level. Even the routines and everything that you learn is not necessarily easy. You're going to have to put some work into some of these routines and practice them. This is not a beginner's course, and I think that the way it is explain that as a Card Magic Mastery course, you may expect it's something for beginners, but it is definitely not. Do not be fooled by that. This is not a beginner's course. This is for someone that's been into Card Magic and is looking to become even better. Because even the double lifts, the crosscut variations, the palms, everything he teaches you is with variations above the ones that you've seen in most of your downloads and your books. So I would say it's intermediate level. In terms of practicality, most of what he performs is with a normal deck. There's no gimmicks here or extra decks, just one deck for all of the routines. You will need a table for most of the routines, okay? The angles are pretty much 360 for all of the routines. The reset is instant reset for all of the routines. There's only maybe 1 or 2 routines that has a setup. Everything else doesn't have a setup, and even the routines that have a setup, he gives you a variation from a shuffled impromptu deck, okay? So that's perfect as well. In terms of inspectability, as I said, it's a normal deck, so it can be inspected as well. So in terms of practicality, all of this material is A1. In terms of where do where would you perform? So these effects are better performed at the table. Some of them can be performed standing up, but most of them need a table. The effects that can be performed stand up can be performed at a table as well. The effects that need a table cannot be performed stand up. So do keep that in mind, which means it limits you in the venues that you perform. So if you're not someone that performs often on a table, not a lot of these the effects can be used by you. The moves can of course be used because those can be done standing up or standing down, except for example the crosscut force or the spread force. Some of them are better on a table and do work better on a table. So even moves wise, some are designed for the table, which means that if you're not a table performer, you're still going to get some things out of it, but not as much as someone that performs at a table seated. Again, you don't have to be seated. You can be standing if you're doing this at a cocktail party. If you just have some place to spread some cards and deal some cards, you can do a lot of these moves and effects, but they are better designed for a parlor type environment where you can have the cards spread on the table and do moves on the table. So essentially for the performing environment, I do think it is more axed towards tabled performing environments. Having said all of this, what are the positives and negatives of the download? So first, let's go into the negatives as always. One of the negatives is that most of the routines are axed and the moves are axed towards tabled performance, which for some people will be alienating. You're not going to be interested because you're not performing in those type of environments. So for a lot of people that don't perform on a tabled seating environment, like he does, or like some other people do, you will not get as much out of it. You're still going to learn a lot of really good stuff that you're going to want to apply in your magic, but it's not going to be a lot of it that you're going to actually be able to put into your work without having a table. So that's the only negative that I have about this download. In terms of positives, it's incredibly well shot. Everything has live performances. Everything can be performed from a shuffle deck in use. The moves are incredible. He pushes the boundaries on what you already know with variations that are incredibly good. As I said, the crosscut force variation is chef's kiss. Like, it's insane. The control that I've performed for you, both of them, for the peak and taking the card to the top, is phenomenal. There's so much good stuff here. It's crazy. And even though it is an intermediate course, it's going to appeal to a lot of professionals as well. There's so much good content and information here. You cannot go wrong with this download. It is a bit expensive for what it is, close to $100 for the moves and effects. It is a bit pricey. I do think maybe $50 would have been better. But again, I'm not the pricing guru and that's not something for me. So I won't complain about that. I do think it was a bit pricey, but you do get a ton of very, very good material for your money's worth, okay? So having said that, I'm going to recommend Card Magic Mastery for you if you are someone that loves card magic. I think you're going to love performing this, and you're actually going to use a lot of the subtleties, moves, variations, and effects that he's going to teach to you. Having said that, I'm giving Card Magic Mastery by Andrew Frost an 8.75 on 10. I think it's fantastic, and I think that a lot of you are going to have a brilliant time using the material here. So that's all I have to say. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a good one, and bye-bye.